All right, so you're taking the leap, moving to a new country. That's huge. And you're already thinking about making friends, English-speaking friends. That's awesome.
It's really about those shared experiences. That's what really builds connections.
Yeah. It's like, remember those friends you made, like during that disastrous baking experiment where everything went wrong? Maybe making that up. But you get the idea, right? And that brings me to one of the suggestions here, joining a cooking class. What do you think?
Oh, I love that one. You're learning about the culture, maybe trying a new dish. You're in this perfect setting to practice English without even realizing it. Like you said, those moments where things go hilariously wrong, those are the memories you keep. Makes you think, right? Grammar alone, that won't make you friends. It's the human stuff.
Exactly. And this article is packed with those kinds of ideas, like volunteering. It emphasizes that as a way to meet locals.
And it makes sense when you think about it. You're giving back, you're meeting people who are passionate about the same things you are, and you're practicing English while you're doing it. They even mention animal shelters, especially if you love animals, which who doesn't?
Okay, I love that. Picture this. You're at a shelter, taking care of animals, and you start talking to another volunteer about, I don't know, dogs. Bam, friendship made.
Exactly. And there's just something about volunteering. It breaks down those walls. You're focused on something you both care about, working together, and suddenly it doesn't matter if your English isn't perfect.
Right. You know what surprised me? Libraries. I wouldn't have thought of them as a place to make friends, but it makes so much sense when you think about it.
I know, right? Libraries are for books, obviously. But this article, it highlights how there are these community hubs. So many volunteer opportunities. It's not just about shelving books. They've got book clubs, tech support, even delivering books to people who can't leave their homes. There's something for everyone.
It's like this whole world of social connection just waiting to be discovered. And you know what? A lot of libraries, they're actively looking for volunteers.
Yeah.
So it's a great way to meet people, especially people who share your interests. Okay, so next up, a classic for a reason. Language exchange meetups.
Oh, yeah, those are fantastic. You're helping someone learn your language. They're helping you with English.
Yeah.
Win-win, right? Plus, the article points this out. These meetups, they usually have some kind of structure. It's not just, awkwardly making small talk. They'll have prompts, activities, games, to get the conversation going.
I love that. Takes the pressure off. And since we're on the topic of structured learning, the article also mentions conversation workshops. What do you think about those?
I think those conversation workshops, they can be really helpful, especially if you're, if you're looking for that structure, that guidance to build confidence, right?
Yeah.
The article mentions they usually have different levels. So you'd be with people who are at a similar, English level as you.
Oh, that's smart. Everyone's kind of in the same boat, so you can relax a little, make those mistakes, learn from each other. No need to be self-conscious, right?
Yeah.
You might even end up laughing about, like, the past perfect continuous tense together.
Exactly. And speaking of shared passions, the article also suggests book clubs.
Ooh, book clubs. I love that. Imagine you get lost in a good book, right? Then you had this whole group of people to talk about it with. You could dissect the plot, argue about the characters, just geek out about the story.
Yeah.
It's like intellectual and social at the same time.
Yeah. And they make a good point in the article about finding book clubs that are welcoming to non-native English speakers. That makes a difference, knowing you're in a supportive environment.
It really does. It's about finding those spaces, those communities where you can just be yourself, learn at your own pace. Okay, this one takes me back. I remember moving to a new city. Ended up at this local food festival. Completely lost, but I was having a blast. This article, it talks about how good cultural festivals are for meeting people. I'm totally with them on that.
They're amazing for that. You've got music, food, performances. It's like the celebration of culture, right? And everyone's relaxed, in a good mood. It just makes it so much easier to start talking to people.
Totally. Maybe you're checking out some art, trying some food, listening to the music. Next thing you know, you're chatting with the person beside you. It just happens naturally.
Yeah, it's effortless. And the article, it highlights how even those small interactions, the ones that don't last long, they still matter. They make you feel like you belong, like you're part of something.
Like you're dipping your toes into the water, the social scene of this new place. Something that really stuck with me from the article, it was this emphasis on not letting fear hold you back. They say everyone starts as a beginner, and that's so true.
It's easy to get caught up in your own head, right? Especially when everything's new. But the article, it encourages you to be kind to yourself. You're learning. It takes time, mistakes. They're just part of the process.
It's all about progress, not perfection.
Exactly. And having supportive people around you, that makes a huge difference. Speaking of support, the article focuses a lot on in-person stuff, but we should mention online communities too, right?
Oh, for sure. Think about it. You've got online groups, forums, social media. It's like this huge network of potential friends, people who are into the same things as you. You could find a language exchange partner, join groups about your hobbies. You can even connect with people from your home country who are living in the same place as you now.
Exactly. It's all about using what's out there to find your people, to build those connections.
It's like having a support system
Mm.
built in, whether it's online or offline, right? And I like how the article encourages you to try different things. Find what works for you.
Yeah, you don't have to do it all. Pick a couple things that stand out to you. Maybe it's a language exchange, maybe it's diving into the festival scene, I don't know. It's your journey.
Find your people. Find your thing. I love that. This has been great. So many helpful ideas, so inspiring. It's amazing what you can learn from just one article when you really dig in.
It really is. And, since we're talking about finding your people, the article focuses on English speakers, which makes sense. But I was thinking there's something to be said about connecting with people from your own culture, too.
Oh, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. But it makes sense, right? It could be really comforting having that shared experience, that understanding,
Yeah.
especially during those first few months in a new place.
For sure. Sometimes having that piece of home with you, it can make a world of difference.
Absolutely. That's a really great point to end on. This has been such a thought-provoking deep dive. For anyone listening, anyone who's about to start their own adventure in new country, remember, be open to new experiences, be kind to yourself, and most importantly, have fun. Yeah. It's saying just go for it. Embrace the adventure, have fun with it. I like that.
It's refreshing, and the best part is you don't have to do everything they suggest. Just start with one or two things that really speak to you. Maybe it's the language exchange thing, or maybe you go all in on the festival scene. It's your call.
Exactly. Find
Yeah.
what works for you. Find your people. This has been awesome. So many
Yeah.
good ideas. I'm feeling inspired. And it just shows you how much good stuff can be packed into one article.
It's been great unpacking it all with you. While we're on the topic of finding your people, I had a thought. The article focuses on finding English speakers, which makes total sense given your goal. But what about connecting with people from your own background? People who are going through the same things in this new place.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. But it's so true. That could be really grounding, having that shared understanding, especially when everything else is so new.
Absolutely. Sometimes having that little piece of home can make all the difference in the world.
Totally. It's like a little touchstone as you're venturing out and exploring.
Yeah.
That is such a great point to end on. For anyone listening who's about to take that leap into a new country, just remember, be open to new experiences, be kind to yourself, and most importantly, have fun with it.